Why does everybody blame me today?
You're not talking. Apparently you're muted to the stream.
Oh yeah, I'm muted. So everyone, I insulted Kendall. And I said Walkman is now a permanent member unintentionally of this podcast. We've all decided except for Walkman, so now he's forced to stay. So welcome everyone.
Okay with that.
How's it going? How's it going, everyone? How's it going, Walkman?
I'm good. Lots of exciting things coming up, so I'm pretty pumped about that. Just told Nine before the show that I was going to be going to SNS with him, so we're going to be getting commentary from the both of us together at some point, hopefully during it.
Wow, that's going to be the swole crew over there.
We've got plans. We've got plans.
I mean, like, we have your name, NinewholeGrains, which totally works, but I'm not sure what we could do with Walkman. It'd have to be like Runman.
Stockman. Stockman.
No, that's just weird. Anyways.
I'm not Stocky's a word.
How's it going?
Shut up.
It is a word.
How's it going, Nine?
Okay.
Good. Oh, shotgun. That's what we'll call you. Instead of Walkman, it's shotgun.
I don't get it at all, but okay.
I'm doing well.
See, you started the bad puns. Now Dave will never stop. Just to let you know that he's like the king of bad puns.
Now, Day and I work together on these.
Anyways, how's it going today, Kendall?
I mean, everything's going great, and so people just stop blaming me. I'm never late.
Yeah, so guys, just to let you know, it's completely my fault. The stream runs with me, so if I'm not there, it's late. I was a little bit late for work, and I'm not going to lie, I had some sweet barbecue, and that delayed a little bit.
All right. Well, what are we doing now? What are we doing now?
All right, so to kick off the show, this is a little bit of a lighter show than normal because we just kind of wanted to cover one specific topic, and we had a bunch of good viewer questions, so we figured we'd kind of just go into those. So to start off, everyone knows, or at least everyone who cares to know, knows that Splathex has been released. Lean has, in fact, released it. So for those of you who don't know what it is, you can manipulate your amount of gear substats that you have. So you could have like 9999 ink saver sub, 9999 quick respawn, and you can have the ability to change your gear. So this has been announced, and I do want to preface this before we get into anything. You cannot change your rank in Splatoon 2 with this. So for all those who are concerned about it, you cannot change your rank. But this brings up the point of discussion that we all thought about was, is it necessary? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Kind of want to get everyone's thoughts on it.
Well, I've talked with Kendall about this. So, Walkie, I'm actually really curious as to what you think about it, because I haven't really...
Same.
We haven't talked about this a lot, so I'm curious.
All right, so... I'm sure I'm going to get into more and think of more as you guys go on, so I'll fill in then as well, but the basic gist of it for me is that I do not like Splathex. I think it's completely unnecessary, but I kind of feel for the people who do like it as well, but in the end, I don't think it's good for the game. One, because anytime there's hacking little or big, it's just the problem. It shouldn't be in any competitive scene. It just opens the door for a lot of things. What if the next hack is sound editing or something like that? And
whoa, hold on. That's the only one I'll approve.
Yeah, the one that actually gives more competitive advantage?
No! Okay, hold on. We're going to get into this after, but okay, continue.
No,
I just want to turn the music off. That's
exactly
why.
Kendall.
Turn the music off.
I just want to play my own music.
And then the person you're versing doesn't, and then because you have no music, you can hear whatever you want.
Come on.
I just want it for stream value for me.
Yeah.
I hate the music.
That's what I did in Splatoon 1. I would just play music.
That's the only hack that I want.
You played in tournaments without music too.
Yeah, but I would put music behind it. I wouldn't just... Do you know how creepy
you're not
it is?
listening to the same music as everyone else.
Yeah, obviously. I'm listening to better music.
It's a completely different game then.
No, it's not. It's just a better game.
No.
I'm listening to the music louder than without it, so I'm pretty sure it's not obstructing
seriously,
it.
Seriously, like I'm probably doing more danger to not danger, but worse gameplay because of it. I don't listen to anything at this point.
It's literally okay. You have to understand the reasoning behind it of ours. To be fair, I'm not condoning it. Like in reality, like I'd rather have no hacks than a hack. But if we have to open this floodgate, music off is the only thing I care about.
You can give me that right now.
Would you get behind it in the tournament if Splat hacks was allowed?
No.
All right, so then that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the streaming value of it. But at the same time,
is this anything about stream? I don't care about.
It's
streaming.
about do you agree or not in every aspect.
Exactly.
All right.
We're agreeing right now.
In competitive, hold on, we'll get into that after. Give your thoughts, but yes, in competitive, I completely agree with you, Walkman. But in like a streaming lifestyle perspective, it would be awesome. But we'd also get banned by Twitch. So
yes.
All right, yeah, that's what I'm saying here is, all right, so if you allow the Splat hacks gear editing, and then the next one after that, it's a small bump up is to the music hacks, then you don't allow that. Then there's the people who are like, oh, I'm just doing it for, you know, the cosmetic value of it. I just don't like the music, you know? I don't care about the advantage or anything. I'm going to put on my own music like you just said, so there's no big deal. You know, then it comes into all these useless arguments that don't even matter. That's my basic gist of it, is you allow one thing, and then it just keeps scaling on to the next, and people will keep comparing it and trying to act like it's okay. Yeah. Next person.
I just want to point out that we said this is going to be a light stream, and less than 5 minutes into the stream, 3 people were yelling.
Whoa, okay, hold on.
That's the first time I've yelled on
I do want to clarify. I do want to clarify that when I mean light, I don't mean no arguing. I mean light in content. There's always going to be arguing. This is like 90% of the show.
Is arguing, yes.
Go ahead, Nine. What's your thoughts on it so far?
So the general principle of what Walkie's saying is kind of how I feel about it. I think that any time that a game gets touched by hacks, that is a problem. And also because I think we're all aware that that door that we weren't supposed to open, which is the really bad hacks, those are already in the works. They've already happened. They just haven't been publicly released yet. So I am unhappy about any form of hacking touching Splatoon 2. Even as one as benign as your ending, because like I'm not naive enough to think that it ends there, you know. And Lean's release may be all well and good, but I can't be happy about Splathex because I know what that means for the long-term run of the game. I couldn't play Splatoon 1 solo queue towards the end. I couldn't. There's just too many hackers in it, and you know that's an issue for me. With gear editing itself, I don't think that the gear system in Splatoon 2 is good. Like, it's better, but it's still not good.
What, Splatoon 2?
Splatoon
Trash.
2 system. I think that it's better. I still don't think that it's good. But I will also say that me, who plays the game rarely, I'm not even level 70 yet, I have 6 full sets of gear that I can wear and that I would compete in. And I've done that by using this system. I can't imagine any more gear that I would want. So I think that it's there and it's helpful, but I'm not sure that any reasonably competitive player is going to be held back by not having it.
Actually, that's exactly the argument I was going to bring up as well, is like, to be fair, I haven't played the game in a while, but I have a pure in every single piece of clothing for every single type of gear. So I have a pure of Inksaver sub on headgear, shirt, and shoes, and I have it for every single type. So I don't ever see why I would need it, because I already have the gear I want. And if I wanted to do, let's say, like 2-in-1, like off-brand gears, that's like super easy to do because I already have all the pures I need.
And the other thing about it is, for me at least, is we don't yet know what Nintendo's response to this is. And like, Walkie, I know you said that you're pretty confident that they have an idea of what's going on and they're going to be able to track it. And we don't necessarily know how they're going to respond to it. So I can't really get behind something fully until I know what the fallout of it's going to be, or if there will be fallout. And if nothing bad comes of this, then I don't really care. I just always assume that competitive players are going to be running whatever gear they want, and however they obtained it is up to them. You know, it's none of my business. But I don't know. The whole thing has me a lot more worried than I should be. So maybe it's an overreaction, but man, things were going so well. We didn't need this. We did not need hacks.
What do you want to say, Kendall?
Oh no, I mean, I've said this before. Like a lot of people are surprised. Like for me, my position kind of changed. Splat one, Kendall would have been like, hell yeah! Like I'm never going to be grinding anything. I'm not going to be re-rolling gear. I'm not one of those people that loves Splatfest. Gonna be honest, but we don't need it. I understand the argument of why people want it. At this point in time, especially for like streaming, I can't like condone it. And I've started to understand more and more why we can't condone it. Biggest reason why, one, I saw somebody on Twitter that actually said like, is this game only for like competitive? Because the only people that are bringing it up are like the people that want to use it just to like optimize their gear. And yes, you can say like, yeah, we don't need it. We don't need it. You can say that, but for some people, they just want to play the game. And for some people, this is not Pokemon. I don't want to grind hours just to find my perfect optimization of gear. Maybe I just want to put in an editor. And I still think no matter what, from Splatoon 1, Splatoon 2, the system's still trash. But yes, it does lead to a lot of problems with actual hacking. So no, for the health of the game, no, it's not a good thing. It's not. It leads to a lot of other questions, but I won't go into a whole bunch of rants about that. And I wish that they would just like, I talked to Bob. I did tell him that this is the only thing I agree with him on, because I hate his fashion, because his suits are absolutely disgusting.
You burn it. You burn that suit.
But like, if they had came up with a system where I can just pay for it straight up, I would literally grind the hell out of this game, and I would just be like, oh, one bomb, whatever it is, 1,000 and something, like whatever. I would easily do that over this. I don't enjoy like finding the brands, whatever. I just want to play the game. That's really it. I love the game. That's it.
Okay, so
yeah,
I am completely of the opposite. I do think.
Oh, imagine that.
No, a little bit. I think we're all in agreement that it shouldn't be in the game. For a multitude of reasons. One is that, so here's the thing, is that the E3 World Championship is coming up and SNS is coming up. We have a bunch of these events that Nintendo's helping out with, and we're all supporting, and like the limelight is now kind of on Splatoon again. The Octo expansion's coming out. It's like this perfect opportunity of like this slight resurgence coming back into the game. And what is just dropped before all that happens? Splathex. Why not release it after? Why not release, like, the timing was so bad. Like, regardless of whether you agree or not, everyone can agree that the timing was atrocious, man. Like, and this is my thing, is I don't know the details. Was it like something where there was a worse hack coming out, so they had to publicize the less evasive hack or something? Like, I don't know, but it felt like it was at such a terrible timing. And that is why, one, I just can't get behind it for that reason. The second one is I don't see any reason why you need it in this game. Like I said, yes, you have to grind, but I feel like anyone who's at the competitive level has already played enough of the game to have a decent amount of sets where I would say the variance in what you're getting is not going to completely change your life in a competitive play. Like, you're not going to sit there and go, oh my god, I didn't have an extra sub saver. Oh my god, that's why I lost the game, you know? If you have your pures and everything, you essentially have most of your kits already. And so I don't really get the point of it. It's kind of like making an exploit that is everyone who wants it kind of already has gear, and it's just to kind of show off. Like, I don't know. That's just my logic towards it.
Can I jump in on that last point?
Sure.
All right. You kept mentioning about, oh, you already have like your peers and you already have all that, but honestly, in Splatoon 2, it's not even the same as Splatoon 1. You don't even need pures anymore. Everybody runs like these things with like one sub of special saver, 2 subs of quick super jump, all these like weird combinations that you don't even need. That's even less chunks.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's less chunks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only bringing up the pures because it's so much more to grind. Everything else is like 10, 20 chunks. It's like nothing.
Look at like all of the top players' gear. Like, I'm sure Fuzzy posts his gear like every day or so. Like, there's not one piece of gear he posts that has a pure on it. Not one.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it's necessary. I think if you're at the level you're playing competitively, you're probably grinding solo enough to get the chunks just naturally. Like, I don't know. I don't see anything. And if you're playing in Splatfest, you could just roll sneeze snails and get 3 right away. I'm not trying to say that it's not easier to do. Of course it's easier to edit your gear, well, other than sticking a screwdriver in your Switch, of course. But like I don't know. I just think it's not as relevant in the first. The first game was really hard to get pures, and pures was the main of that game, right? Here it's like, I don't know, man. It's like so much easier. Like I'm never really worried about it. And I think before Splathex came out, I haven't heard of anyone going, "Oh my god, I wish Splathex was released." It's only now that it's released, everyone's like, "Oh, finally, I don't have to grind anymore." As if you were really grinding so hard. Like, man, I don't know. I don't think it's that necessary. And I think it just opens it up for more things. And I guess
can we just like seriously be honest about gaming just in general? Like, I think everybody just looks at like Splatoon and it's like, oh my god, like hacks, but how many other games get hacked? It's just that companies actually take the steps in order to actually like get things done and make sure that like there's a process that happens. And maybe Nintendo does that, but I guess it kind of comes back at Nintendo for like, yo, what are you guys going to do to stop this now?
Yeah.
That's really it. Like, people are always going to hack, like no matter what it is. And at the end of the day, like, it's like, I said this to Nine earlier. It's like, seriously, just how you gonna tell if somebody's doing it or not? I mean, seriously, just either A, shut up about it, just don't be vocal about it, or that's it. You can't stop anybody at this point.
It'll be interesting to see what Nintendo's response to it is. That's really what a lot of mine is hinging on. I mean, if they just kind of look the other way or ambivalent to it.
What can they do though? Because like Kendall said,
true.
It's like what is the gears that's not going to show up anything, is it?
Yeah,
like in the data,
unless you have like gear
file.
that's not originally in the game, or you're playing like an octoling. Like I don't see any way that they can enforce it. Now that being said, I'm not too concerned about the gear editing itself. Like I don't necessarily agree with it overall.
No.
And like to be fair, I will let you know right now. Like if we catch it in a tournament somehow, I highly doubt we ever are. It's not really catchable. But like we always have a rule, like no cheating allowed in tournaments.
Of course.
And that's anything that involves the game as well. So, like I said, we can't tell you are or not, but if it's caught somehow, we have to enforce cheating rules, you know?
Very true.
That being said, is like, what I'm concerned about is, will this open the doors for other things? Because like I said, we've already noticed that you can get gear hasn't been in any shop. And you can also get octoling girls. What's to say you can't change the values on weapons at this point? What's to say you can't change the values on paint? What's to say you can't do this? And that's the problem, is that some of it's not really detectable.
I mean, that's why I said no. For the health of the game, I said no, straight up no. Like as I said, I got it. Like I read somebody's tweet about it. They were like, "Yo, what about other people that like don't play this game competitively? Like, do we want it to end up like the end of Splat 1? And I mean, it's just, I feel like at the end of the day, I feel like it comes down more to Nintendo than people being honest. Like, how many of you owned a Game Shark back in the day and are just going to sit here and be like, oh my God, like how many times have like people, I'm not saying for everybody, obviously.
I'm not saying that cheating or hacking the game isn't fun, but like Game Shark back in the day, like I used it in single player to get like big head mode and like,
I'm not saying that, but people did the same thing for the Wii with Mario Kart. It was a huge thing. I think, as I said, all I'm saying is it comes down to like Nintendo actually what's their next step to actually stop this. And it kind of also answers your question about E3. They're probably not going to allow you to use your own Switch. That whole conversation is dead.
Well, actually,
that question is dead.
That's the next thing I was going to bring up is like the reason why I'm so concerned about this too is that the more that you put hacks into the game, the more online tournaments become less reputable.
Oh my God, Kendall and I had a conversation and a half about this earlier today.
Yeah, so you guys can bring it up after, but I'll start the topic, is that, so we run all our tournaments online, right? You open up the place for hacks, it's like, it completely invalidates online tournaments at that point. How can we decide who's hacking, who's not? The only way that you can validate it is through LANs at that point. Having LAN mode on, making sure you don't have an internet connection, making sure your data's not hacked. Like, that's the only way that it's secure anymore. So you just stop validating online tournaments. Do we put prize pools in tournaments? Like, we've been building to it, but now with this, it might be a little bit more cautious. You know what I mean? It scares everyone.
Yeah, no,
it literally scares
you're
everyone.
Right. You're right.
Anyways, you
wrong.
brought this up, so go ahead.
No, I can start. Go ahead, Nine.
So I mean, well, you hit on the premise of it there, Spoon. That when you open the door, or when this door has been opened, rather, for online play, and now that we know that hacking is just going to be a part of this game's, fiber for the rest of its, for the rest of its life, unless Nintendo does something about it. You're right. I think that does put an asterisk on online tournaments. Now, until this could all be crying wolf until we see it happen for the first time, but that's still there. And I think that makes it all the more important that, and Kendall will smile when I say this, LANs have to be the focus.
Dedicated servers.
Dedicated, well...
That's also true.
Well, we're talking about pipe dreams here.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll get them to do it. Maybe.
If this is what does it,
that's crazy.
We will,
Actually,
I will
to
get down
be
on my
fair,
knees and thank Clean.
To be fair,
nice
that might
check from
actually be
Lee.
the case, because if you so I know enough about the hack to know kind of how it's working, right? Like chunks and stuff, they're all on the save file. So you back up your save, you put onto your computer, you update the data, you put it back into your Switch, right? That's why rank's not affected, is because it's kind of cloud-based and it remembers the last point in time you played the game, so you can't hack the rank because it notices it right away. There's technically some form of cloud saving. Sorry, Kendall, you looked lost, so I thought I'd stop and pause.
No. Something, I don't know if you guys heard that. Like there was something.
Yeah,
like,
no, I heard it too.
I thought it was going crazy. I was like, looking for it.
Oh, that's my
I
phone.
heard it
I'm
too.
sorry. So,
Okay.
anyways, yeah. So, what was I saying again?
You were talking about
Cloud saves.
how...
Cloud saves.
Cloud saves. So that's how
Sorry.
it works. So really, I don't know the rest of the game. I don't know how the weapon values and stuff are stored. If they're stored on a not a cloud, that is an issue. And then that might lead them to do, because think about it, now we're paying for online service, right? So now there is this standard to keep. You could argue before free, well, this is what you get when it's free. But now we are paying for a service, so the expectation is that you are going to clamp down on cheating hard. So it might actually force them to do something more severe than just ban people who get noticed.
Yeah. And I guess that's the ideal end goal, is that we get to have our cake and eat it too. Because the chunks wouldn't be trackable on cloud save, probably. And then online gets anti-cheat, so... That'd be a nice final outcome of all this, I guess.
Yeah, in a way. One more thing I do want to bring up is I see a lot of people bringing up the argument, and I'm not going to name any names of anything, but I see that a lot of people are bringing up the argument that, well, this person brought it up and he made it secure, so it makes the hacks okay. It doesn't. You literally made it public, because I had no idea that this stuff was happening until it released. And people are like, well, it's been out in the open forever. It hasn't, not like this. You've literally opened the floodgates at this point. So to say that, oh, well, other people are doing it and it could have been worse, so I've contained it, is like... It's like saying that you haven't started 3 house fires, you started 1 and contained it, so only 1 house is burning down. Like... That argument doesn't fly. You're still doing something that is against what the game should be. I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. Like, I think definitely there are perks to it, like anything, right? Like, a lot of people do things for convenience, but in the end, it's against the policy of the game, and it's against what it's supposed to be, and it opens up a floodgate to a whole bunch of other things.
Mm-hmm. Especially when, obviously, you can't even complain at this point when Nintendo doesn't help you when you do things like this. To me, it's like, especially when they do sponsor a lot of these LANs and stuff like that. They are providing equipment, I know for a fact. When you bring up all these hacks and stuff like that, you can't complain that they aren't helping you.
I mean,
you can't ask them to do more when you're going against their policy.
I mean, like, that's... Do you watch... I know you watch other scenes. I know you watch Overwatch compared to, like... I know that... Come on.
Is it the thing that...
Nobody's saying it's the right thing, but, like...
No. This is what I'm saying. Like, you can't make the argument that... Like, everyone's seen Hungrybox's speech at last year's SNS, whatever, where he complains about how Nintendo, whatever, doesn't help. if let's say that was, you know, some type of hacked system, then they're not gonna want to do it at that point either.
Well,
it's like if that was for Project M or something like that, you know,
well,
it's like
UCF. Every tournament that Nintendo
what's to say this doesn't become
get
that, or that they don't view it as that.
Yeah, every tournament that Nintendo sponsors doesn't get to use UCF currently. And you know, that's got its whole own thing about whether, you know, UCF, like, that's a whole other ordeal we could spend an hour on. But it has been proven in the past that even benign mods to the game can and do get shut down when Nintendo is involved. And to Spoon's original point, this is about to be the biggest that our scene has ever been, the biggest influx of eyes, and one of the main ballots they're going to see when they come in is hacks. So make of that what you will.
Well, and another thing I do want to bring up is that a lot of the people who are the competitive players adamantly support the scene. People who I'm not going to name, the person who released the hack is also a member of the Splatoon competitive scene, and we seem to all embrace this with open arms for some reason. Think about if an Overwatch player embraced a quality of life hack to the game. That guy would be banned and kicked from his team instantly just because of that, right? Like, it's such a bad look. It's so bad, and everyone should discourage it. Like, there's no reason. I understand it's more convenient, but it doesn't mean it's the best option for public image and for just like the scene in general. It's pretty stupid if you ask me, especially with what they've done. They made a bunch of quality of life improvements, and like I said, when I started out the game, I enjoyed the grind of getting shells. There was a reward to playing in a way. I know that you don't feel the same, Kendall, but to a lot of like casual people, that is a way to do it. Even to competitive people now, it's like that shot of adrenaline every time you get those 10 chunks to get a piece.
That's what gets you going.
Yeah, man.
Try going to the gym, Spoon.
That's what gets you going.
Yo, come on, man.
Spoon.
I want to bring up another point, like in the other direction.
Okay.
Kind of play like a devil's advocate here. Is we always, every time I'm on this show, every time I watch whatever, we're always talking about how, you know, people should be doing scrims more and pickups and things of that nature instead of, you know, just not playing or just playing for fun, things of that nature. So I mean, this does kind of take away any type of grind that people have to do outside of scrims. Because for scrims, you're not getting anything out of it besides the experience.
Yeah, and that's fair. But like I said, to all the people who are scrimming who already have 3,000 hours in the game, you're not telling me that like one extra sub gear on your chunk is gonna change the world on your system. You know what I mean? Like at this point, it's more of like a thing to say, oh, I have this gear. Like if you have Pures in 3 or like the certain thing,
every meta they do change a little bit, and gear. Nobody was using quick super jump 2 patches ago.
Yeah, and you know what?
So you do have to update your gear.
And you know what? I grinded a pure of quick super jump before I knew anything about it, because I was like, you know, I have like 40 chunks that I haven't used because they've just been randomly selected to me. I'll just instantly put them in. It's like when Cold-Blooded is going to get popular and everyone has 450 chunks because no one uses it. You can easily make Cold-Blooded gear with it.
Cold-Blooded.
It's the same concept. That's what I'm trying to say. Everyone has gear that's laying around.
We have officially brought Cold-Blooded into this discussion. This is
How's that durag feel, Kendall?
It feels terrible because it can't be used.
All right. Does anyone want to add anything to Splat hacks? Because we'll go into viewer questions if you want.
No, I think we've.
I think we all agree it's probably bad for the game overall. If you're a competitive player, you shouldn't advertise it. If you are using it for convenience, go for it, but try not to advertise it.
I do have a couple more points, actually.
Sure, go for it.
One is that with the ability to put any like main, I guess, on your thing. 1 second, I got a cramp, so I'm gonna like pretend like I'm not in pain right now. But yeah,
sorry, man.
Well, maybe you should go to the gym more, Walkman.
That's what gets you the cramps, to be honest. Is when you don't drink enough water after.
Yeah, I've been icing my elbow this entire time.
I heard chocolate milk helps with that too.
It does.
Like right after chocolate milk?
Alright, so really? I'm good. So yeah, I completely forgot my points, but I'm gonna bring it up. Alright, yeah, so changing the main on a gear that I guess wasn't possible or whatever to, let's say, you know, the durag, put it for special charge up or whatever, and then you go in a tournament with that and that's on stream, and let's say like me and Blake, we didn't notice, that looks bad on us if, let's say, like, you know, somebody important is watching or anything like that. So it puts your TOs and organizations in more trouble than it should.
Yep.
And then the second point was, I saw BTM bring this up. I saw Toad Silly T bring this up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I obviously knew this from Splatoon 1 as well. That they completely, you know, ban anybody who gear edits or hacks, whatever. It's just completely against their, you know, morals and ethics in tournaments. So, let's say, you know, you just want to hack your gear. Let's say like Sendo hacks his gear or something like that, and then he goes on to play Platinum Cup. He's completely violating their rules and shouldn't even be playing.
That's only for the mains, though, right?
No, I'm talking about any type. You can't put a sub or anything.
No. I mean, I'm just asking. How do they even know?
Well, that's the thing.
I'm just asking. I don't know that.
If they find out,
it's like.
So this is basically like steroids.
It's basically a truth system over there.
Well, and it's the same kind of system that we mentioned, right? In our rules, it says no cheating. That includes hacking, cheating. It's literally in our rules. But how do we enforce people modifying chunks, right? It's hard. But if we do spot it, we do have an obligation to make that within our tournament.
Yeah, so my point was just that it's still, you know, not the biggest deal in the world, but you are violating the rules of a tournament.
No, you're right. I mean, yeah. You're right. All I have to say is stop posting it places. Like, stop posting. Like, I'm going to ask you now, Spoon. Like, if you see somebody posting on Twitter, are you just going to be like, yo, you're banned from our tournaments from now on?
No, because the thing is like, we're not stupid. You know what I mean? We can't get rid of our entire core. But at the same time, if someone's just retweeting it saying, look, here's Splatfax, here how to use it, it doesn't mean they're using it. It just means they're aiding and abetting, which is not considered part of our rules. We're pretty lenient, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want anyone, I'm going to adamantly advise to not do it. It looks really bad for our scene, but at the same time, not just going to ban anyone. It has to specifically be within our tournament, like someone getting caught and there's proof of it kind of thing.
All right, that was the 2 points I had to bring up, so I'm done with whatever.
Anyways,
literally just stop being public with it.
Yeah, I guess that's the biggest thing is, guys, just stop advertising it everywhere. It's so bad. It's like really, really bad to be completely public with it. Okay.
That's literally it.
We're going to go into some questions since we started talking about the gym. How is Walkie's workout regimen going? 9 needs to know so he can keep going. 9, how do you feel about this question?
It's an important one, especially now that I'm seeing right now that's some pretty good shoulder development. So tell me about your regimen, man. Tell the good people. I feel like the people don't know about the Walkman workout, and they should.
I mean, I don't have like a specific workout like that. I do like a specific routine or whatever. I do end up doing the same things, whatever, for each body part, but. Really, I just go there and then I just do as much as I can until I can't anymore. That's really what I end up doing. And then I'm actually really proud of myself because back in like when I finished my last semester of school back in like whatever December, I was 180 pounds and now I'm up to like 195. So that's a pretty big improvement right there. And that's including actually in April, I lost like 7 pounds because I had food poisoning. So that's pretty impressive to me that I got back up that quick.
Oh, okay, got back up. I was about to say it's pretty impressive. I lost so much weight.
No, I don't want to lose weight. I want to gain weight.
Yeah, we could trade. We could trade, man.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite lift?
My favorite lift?
Yeah.
Oof.
Could be anything. Your favorite? I mean, what's your favorite thing? You got 10 minutes in the
gym. My favorite to work out is definitely back. I don't know why. I always feel good after a good back workout.
Yeah, no, that's good.
And then, this next couple weeks or month or so is gonna be the real test for me, though, is because I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm Muslim, so like I have to fast for Ramadan.
Oh my God! Really? No, I'm kidding. Yeah. I'm sorry.
So that's gonna be like the real test because I can't eat from like the morning till the night, and then I'll have to go to the gym at night as well. So that's gonna be the real test. That's usually where, if I'm going to the gym, that's usually where I end up like dropping it for a while. So I'm gonna try not to do that this time.
That makes sense. That's wow. I can't even. I just stuff my face all the time, so I can't even imagine. That's
I mean, I do too when I can.
You can't, right? But like, oh man, you are stronger than me.
All right.
Yeah, I don't have Kendall. Do you have any questions? You're the personal trainer. What questions do you have for Walkie about his workout?
Do you even lift?
Bro.
Damn.
Get swole. Okay, I have a question from NCrass04N or Nick. After all this time, do you still like to read the introductions of current maps and modes as well as the dialogues between Pearl and Marina, or do you furiously click A and hope it's going to be insta-skippable in the future?
Alright, I honestly, this didn't bother me for the longest time. But then when it's like, the rotations are like 2 hours, I just want to get on and freaking play some games to rank up my freaking Rainmaker score that is so bad compared to the rest of my Rank X scores. I just want to play the damn game, and sometimes I feel like they take forever. Like, I feel like some of their like talking dialogue is way longer than others. And it really rattles me the wrong way right now. But I really hope it is skippable in the future.
Same.
I'm
mash A.
Yeah, I mash A. I don't read anything. Not even during Splatfest do I read it.
Oh, if it's Splatfest, that's even worse.
Yeah.
That's even worse.
I'll try and find images of the funny ones, but I'll just skip all the other ones. It's no problem. When I'm actually playing the game, I'm there to play, so I skip. I think we're all in agreement that we just skip. Okay. Dystopia asks, what do you feel is the best course of action for the top NA teams? I guess more specifically Saikai after everything in the Inkling Open. How do you think they should recover? And I guess I didn't want to make it that specific. That's what he said.
Right.
But I more just want to say, what do you think is the best course of action for NA teams? If you saw the Splat ranks recently, it's like all EU. Like everyone is EU.
No, I believe it was like 4 out of the top 5 were.
Yeah, with the one there being STDX.
STDX
Yeah, STDX is 3, and then everyone else was like European with like Prophecy the exception.
Yeah.
No, it was
Listen, Walkie, don't. No, don't. You can go ahead. I'm just fucking with you.
No, I think Tomo was like 6th or something, which is a fair spot for them.
Yeah, but I guess the question is, what do you think the NA scene can do to improve? Be more accessible for scrims. Play BNS every Thursday, guys. I don't know. We've gone through this conversation a couple of times.
A lot.
If you're specifically talking about Saikai, they just need to get players who are active again and start from the beginning. I mean, it's not like rocket science. Just find some players who are good, who work well with you, and start over again.
Yeah, the problem though with Saikai to me is I can't really think of any players that fit what I want them to, be like as active as they should be. I don't know if there's enough players around for that in the NA scene at their level. So. That's the real problem to me.
Well, then they have to cultivate talent and bring them up with them. Hey, I'm just saying, it has to be an option if you're running out of players.
Yeah, no, it's fair. It's fair. They are.
What are you gonna do? It's like when you watch football, right? I'm gonna give a terrible analogy. It's like watching the Dolphins play.
Do you watch football?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
It's like watching the Dolphins play lately. They're just in recovery mode. They're not bad. They're just rebuilding, They're
not bad. They're just rebuilding. Spoon, that's how you get to be a Rams fan, okay? Just lie to yourself for years and years saying, oh, this is the year. They're just recovering. It'll be fine.
Yeah, dude. They pick up a bunch of first drafts. They let the team cultivate. They let themselves get better. That's how it works.
You know how long the Dolphins have been rebuilding, right?
Yeah, years, man.
Do you know how long the Rams had not had a winning season since 2003 until this last year? 15 years of being awful.
Anyways.
So,
but being completely honest, I made it as a joke, but in reality, though, I think that is the case. Is like finding another player, cultivating them, and just like trying to make them work with you at some point. It's like getting a draft pick in like the NFL or like the NBA, right? Like they're not expected to be like the star instantaneously unless you are LeBron James, but A lot of players are there, they get drafted, and they're just meant to work their way up slowly. So I think that's the case. You can't always have a superstar.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to finish off something, go for it, 9.
I mean, I was just going to say I think Kendall and I talked about this earlier. I think the rankings are a little bit skewed right now because we haven't had a lot of tournaments where EU and North America have competed recently.
That's true.
So I'm not saying that there isn't work that North America needs to be doing. I mean, everyone needs to be doing work all the time, but I'll be interested in seeing what happens because we've had a lot of weekly tournaments that these teams have been competing in, and those are, of course, not in a friendly EU time zone. So EU has done the same. They've had tournaments that cater more to them, and everyone's been practicing for their respective Inkling Open or whatever the equivalent is. So right now it's a little bit interesting to see. I mean, even in Tassel, that has top teams competing, they've been competing against people in their own region. So that's just kind of an interesting component to it, is we really haven't had a lot of cross battles. I mean, there's been scrims, of course.
I actually want to say I like that. From a viewer perspective, that sounds weird, but I feel like when we do get a really, really big tournament with a lot on the line, it'll be so much more interesting to watch these teams play against each other. Like, I know we say EU's on top right now, but we say EU's on top right now from the last time we saw a big tournament where they're playing against each other.
Yeah, so that's just one component to this discussion that I think needs to be mentioned, is there really just hasn't been a lot of playing with other people, so it's hard to say exactly where they rank against each other.
All right. Let's get into the next question. What weapon in the game that isn't good at the moment could be really good in the future if we actually take the time to use the weapon?
I am a big believer in the squeezer, and I
was
have
going to
been.
say the same.
Yeah.
So I think that now, especially, we're starting to see the squeezer come up. I believe Fuzzy said in the scrims against Calamari recently that they were using squeezer, and I don't know, both squeezers I think have maps that they can be strong on. So I think that if you can play one, there's merits to using both. Yeah. So I think squeezer, definitely. Honestly.
I see a lot of people saying Dynamo. Dynamo's popular right now. I'm sorry. It's kind of in a big shift right now. Dynamo's really, really strong, in my opinion. We've seen it a lot in BNS, and it's been dominating. So
I think it's really, really strong, but I think it's definitely usable.
Yeah.
Or viable.
I don't know. I still don't see a lot of Nozzle Nose play overall.
Yeah, Nozzle Nose has kind of dropped off, to be honest. I wish that more people would use them,
I still think it's a really good weapon. I think the only thing that really counters it is like Umbrella.
Wait, Nozzle Nose being the L3 or the H3?
Both.
Both? I guess that's true.
I think both are pretty strong right now, but no one really uses them a lot.
Yeah.
I guess another one would be Bamboo, but not on every map for sure.
Yeah, the only person I've seen use it properly is like Ronnie.
What's the next Bamboo kit for the?
I have no idea.
No idea. Yeah.
But hopefully it doesn't have Tenta missiles.
Both have Tenta missiles. Sorry, Bamboo users.
How about you, Kendall?
For which, just in general, I agree with. What do you want to say? Favorite one is Flingza.
Okay.
Seriously. Seriously.
Hey, go for it.
Did you not see the spots that were in Japan at one point in time for the #1 in Rank X?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everyone was talking about the Flingza.
Okay. So sleep on it. Whatever you want to say about the Flingza roller. I will never use it, but yeah, Flingza.
By the way, I just want to shout out something. I do want to take shots right now. Prodigy has just called me out for saying that I said Ronnie was the only person to use a Bamboo. And he says, Day is going to be mad. Well, maybe if Deep Blues played in our tournaments more, we would know. There you go. Anyways.
Wow.
Speaking of Prodigy, so you see that segue? He did ask a question. He said he wanted us to talk about having a grand finals commentated by women, which includes Acid Sunshine or Melissa. She's actually on BNS quite a lot. Good friend of ours, and Milana, who who is a popular streamer and comes to all the LIS. Good friend of Kendall too. So I guess that brings up a topic.
Do not play DDR with her. Never play DDR with her. It's a lie. Don't. She's gonna say that she's gonna pay for it. She's gonna be like, "Yo, I'm not that good." Then she's gonna put you on basic. Then she's gonna put herself on expert. And then she will destroy you. Do not do DDR with her.
Well, that's not even fair. Some games like that, you can't. Even if you hit every note, you can't get as high as the person that was playing on the harder difficulty.
Yo, I got. Even
destroyed. If they get like 85% of the notes or whatever. There's some games like that.
Go back on. Sorry, go back on the topic.
Well, anyways, I guess I just want to say. Do you guys have anything to add to that in particular? Because it's very rare in anything esports or anything sports related that you see two women commentating solely. It's like only ever like one or mostly just males. So the fact that there's a final that are two women, like, do you think this is something that's like we're breaking ground here? Considering that I would like to say I think we have the largest community of like. Not just women, transgender, LGBT, just everything in general. I feel like we're the most open in that case. So do you think Splatoon is the pathway to break that barrier in esports? Or do you think there's other games that can do it better?
And that's going pretty broad, so I don't know.
I'm opening it up, Nine.
Opening all the way. Well, okay, I'll say this. Casters are the link between the spectator and the game itself, and it's one of the first things that a lot of people see. So the fact that, like you said, we have two women commentating shows people, I think, what they can expect. You know, that you can be a woman in an esports gaming community, and you can still reach those levels that aren't always achievable in other esports. And I think that that's a good thing for people to know, is that that's not going to be something that will hold you back, that you can still go as far as you would like to. And I just think that that's really good, and that there are a lot of scenes that could do with doing that. But, you know, that's also, it happened organically too, which I think is another really great part, and something that doesn't happen a lot, is that happened organically, it went well, people are happy, they're asking for it again. But none of it felt forced. None of it felt like it was filling a quota or anything. And that's what's really special about it.
Kendall, do you want to add anything, since you are LIS, one of the founders here?
Well, just in general, like the person that came up with the idea was DJ. Melissa was going to go up regardless. We usually ask Melissa a lot to come out for these events to commentate. And one of the things I will say is, like, she's so humble about it also too. Like, I've told her many times that, like, she does a great job. She really wants it, and she finds it great that she feels it, in a way, inspiring other women to like get involved with it, and the scene is very welcoming to it. And I would say that, like, especially with our team, like, I would say anybody, like, even Endgame, just like you guys, of course, like, I would say that, like, Splatoon is not some like men's club, like, at all, by far, and it's a very open scene just in general. So I mean, I ask Melissa all the time. Like, we asked her for the event that we had for GSM Online, our first one, and she was like, why are you, like, I couldn't believe that you would ask me to even come. And I was just like, are you serious? You're an amazing commentator. Milana, her personality is just amazing. The same way that she acts on her stream is the same exact way that she acts on in person. So when DJ came up with the idea to do it, I was literally like, yeah, go ahead. That'd be an amazing grand finals. So I think that it should be done more. There's definitely more people that could have more of an opportunity to do it and actually to succeed at it. So I think it was great.
Yeah, I 100% agree with everything, you know, all of you guys said. And just adding on is that I did get to watch the grand finals, whatever, and paid more attention to them commentating than the actual game, just because I knew this was a question. And I think they did actually a really good job, especially considering, one, I'm sure it was Milana's first time commentating an event, and then it was the first time for them doing that together. So a lot of what they did, I thought was pretty amazing. I think they both got a lot of the points across. And honestly, not to throw shade or anything at other casters, but I thought they did a lot of good things compared to even what some of the men do. So.
Like, come on, I need to hear it.
No, I mean, all right.
Well, me for one, I'm trash.
Right? When I'm watching Splatoon commentary, sometimes I'm not gonna lie. As someone who's played the game, I cringe a lot because I'm just like, you're flat out wrong with what you said. You guys know I do this stuff.
Because you tell us about it.
You call me out while I'm commentating.
Exactly. So I'll be like, no, you're flat out wrong with what you're saying. You should really just stop commentating because you shouldn't do that. But I listened to what they were saying, and I thought it was actually pretty factual. It was fun. They were talking about side things that also had to relate with the game. I thought it was a good duo together, and I thought they had fun, so that made everyone seem to have more fun as well. So I enjoyed watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And oh, go ahead.
No, you go. Go 9.
This always happens to me. One thing I want to say, again, I want to give a big, just big pat on the back, clap, whatever it is, for Melissa, Acid Sunshine. I know that she's been putting in a ton of work, and she was one of the few people who came up to, in the commentary server, ask about what makes good commentary. And for 4 or 5 tournaments that I can remember, she would just listen inside of Mumble or Discord, whichever we were using, just to listen to our commentary firsthand and listen and watch along with us. So that is the definition of hard work gets you where you want to go. Because
before you continue, Nine, I just want to say one of those I did with you. That was a Squidboards tournament, and those were probably 7 hours that she was just there listening. So yes.
Listening, and I can tell you right now, she is the only person I've seen willing to do that. So I just want to again say that hard work pays off, and you absolutely deserve that spot. And to continue with that, I thought she did an amazing job facilitating the conversation, which is not something that I feel like a lot of casters are either comfortable doing or think about doing. It's just kind of controlling where things are going and setting up, and it just all felt very, very natural, allowing Milana's personality and charisma to shine through. So I analyze commentary very hard, and I'm giving it a thumbs up. So that's let's get some thumbs up in the chat. Come on.
Yeah, some walkie thumbs up. Walkie seal of approval. Anyways, I guess I do want to bring up, it was overall, it was good. One thing in particular I do, because you guys brought up all the topics, I'm not going to just speak over you about it. The one thing that I do want to say is what you brought up, Nine, about it being organic, is I feel like that's really the true part of it, is that we don't sit around going, you know what, we should just have women as commentators. Or we should have males as commentators. It's more like we literally open it up. We're like, hey, who's interested in commentating? Oh, you? Okay, we'll try you out. And we just put people on, and we just see if it works, and if people are willing to try out, right? We don't even reject people if you're not that good at the beginning.
No.
We try and work on it together, and we try and keep putting you through things. We may not put you on a main Squidboards grand final event, but man, we'll put you on BNS because that's the place where you can cultivate talent, and you're with 2 people who you can feel safe with, because if you mess up, you can fall back on us. You know what I mean? And the whole thing is meant to be to kind of joke around and just have a good time. So there's so much less pressure. So yeah, we try and cultivate that, not saying we do it oh, we're the best, but I feel like Splatoon in general kind of tries to cultivate that talent, and we're willing to try new people just cause. And I think that's a good way to go into it, is to not lock ourselves. Of course you have the top people, you want a 9 in the finals to bring in the match, you want a Walkie, you want an Iric who comes in, but who's to say that those people who are up and coming can't become the next 9 or something? So I think that's how we perceive it, and that's how we internalize it, and I think that's really good overall.
And Bleck said in chat, and this has happened, just message Blake, message Spoon, message me if you want to be in that commentary server. There's no test run or anything like that. Just say, hey, I'm interested in commentating. Let me, is there anything I can do? Actually, and I'll probably give you some tips, and then literally I will put you in that server.
Yeah, to give a perfect example, Nine actually put a guy named Schiller into our server, and we never heard about him before. And Nine's like, this guy's interested in commentating. You know what? He was on the next BNS. So, like, we do take that seriously. Like, obviously, we do ask you a couple of questions to make sure that you're not gonna like scream Bloody Mary on this on the mic when you walk in. But like,
Scream Bloody Mary.
That's still a thing.
Listen, I'm an old guy.
Oddly specific things you can't.
Anyways, point being is that I'm pretty proud of us as a community in general, and I'm glad that we have someone like Melissa who's willing to come on to BNS, come on to our cast. Like we fully support her. We have her on a lot of our cast when she's available too, and we never say no to it. So yeah, pretty happy. Let's get into some more questions. K-Flav asks, in reference to a previous InkRadio, I think it was the last one, do you think Turf War would be more competitively viable if we had a quarantine mechanic similar to that one shifty station to increase strategic options in matches and cut down on the last 30-second wins?
Well, I guess that depends. For you guys, because I did not get to play in that Splatfest, did you guys feel that matches were more consistent in results on that shifty station than they were on other maps? I guess that's the first question.
No.
I didn't play it either.
Yeah. I didn't play it, but
I watched Sendo's video on it.
Okay, so you're an expert, so tell us.
Yeah, that makes me an expert. All right, so basically, if anyone in the chat, I guess, doesn't know either, the shifty station that they're referring to was after a certain timer, ticks down, then this huge like Thunderdome comes down in different parts of the map, and then people are quarantined there. So whoever wins out the fight inside of that, then you get that map for that amount of turf for the rest of the game, which is cool. It's kind of tricking you to play splat zones in a way for like a certain amount of time. So yeah, that's the basic gist of it. And I think it would be pretty cool if they did do that in Turf War, but they're not going to, because that essentially means that every single map in the game needs to be changed to account for that. And you cannot play all the modes on maps like that. You cannot play with the Thunderdome on the maps that we have currently, because you think about putting that in a map like frickin' Port Mackerel, where is that even going to go? It's just not possible. So every single map would need to be changed, and it'd be drastically changed for every single mode to even get to that point where we have those constraining areas.
I would just say I think the mode just needs to change in general. Like, I don't think the quarantine would really fix it. Yeah, I think just the whole mode needs to change before anything will make me change my mind about it. There just can't be a countdown timer that dictates the end of the game. It needs to be like, it can be punished at any point, like I mentioned before. Anyone want to add anything?
Kendall, how's that fight with the light going on there?
It's winning.
It is winning? Okay.
It's winning. Like, I might have to just throw this joint out.
All right. So, again, K-Flav asked, do you think new tournaments should borrow ideas from existing or old tournaments? Or should they forge their own path and build a completely new identity? Would TOs be upset if their formats were implemented into other events?
That's a good question. And Kendall, once again, so you all don't know this, but Kendall and I spend like 3 hours every Tuesday just talking to each other before this show comes on. Yep. Just to like chat, because we both have that chunk of time free. But we talked a little bit about this and how we think that tournaments, if you are starting a new tournament now, it needs to be very focused and with a very specific purpose towards it. And that can be whatever it is, but I don't think that new tournaments should just operate with the same old simple rule set. I think we have something like Squid Boards, which operates with a very, I would say, neutral and simple rule set system that I think makes a great basis for big tournaments. But I think that new tournaments that come up really should be focused on trying to accomplish a goal of some sort. And there are a ton of different goals you can do, but I feel like tournaments should be very focused now if you are going to start a new tournament.
Okay, I guess I'll bring it up because I do a lot of the TOing stuff. If you literally, so here's the thing, there's a difference between taking the idea and taking the tournament, okay? So you can totally, so for example, if you want to take how we run BNS and literally implement it into your tournament, I do not care. Like, if anything, that flatters me that you're willing to ask us for help, or just willing to take a format that we thought was a good idea and take it over. But there is a difference where you start making the everything about it the same, right? Like, if you called it BNS, but I don't know, you put Walkie in 9 and you called it WNN, you know, and you were like, yeah, we're gonna do the same format and the same term, we're gonna have this commentary that's super laid back. Like, all of these pieces don't make BNS, but if you continuously copy every single thing, you're not improving on the tournament, you're literally just copying something. So I think that's the distinguishment you need to make, is like, you can pick and choose things that you feel are good from other things, but you don't need to directly copycat something, right? It's like if SKSQS had something called like NQSS, not Squidward's tournament, you know? It's like, those are the kind of things. We had a couple of situations like that where like something was like Ludi and someone literally ripped off Ludi, like the logo and everything. And we're like, we're just so happy. We loved Ludi, so we wanted to make a Ludi tournament. And it's like, yes, you can make a league format, but don't literally take someone's logo and everything with it, you know? I guess that's what I'm trying to say. There's a difference between copyright and borrowing, or like taking ideas. Like, for example, to give a perfect example is Endgame TV did have a new podcast called Fresh FM. 9 was on it.
Yeah, it was. And
it's a good podcast overall. It distinguishes itself from us. And a podcast is not something that you can like copyright. Like, I'm not sitting there going like, oh my god, they took a podcast, this is the worst, right? But if they called it like, I don't know,
NinewholeGrains.
Paint Radio. And they had 4 people and it was the same type of style, I'd be like, well, 1, what's the point of having the exact same thing both ways? And then 2, I'd be like, okay, this is kind of copying more than just a podcast, right? But like, I think Endgame's smart enough to know that a podcast is a great thing to do. More podcasts in the scene is fantastic, and they've created their own type of system and their own type of synergy and different type of cast to give a different opinion to maybe the same things that we might talk about. So that's a good idea of like, they're not copying us. They might have gotten the idea to start a podcast potentially from us because they saw that we were doing it every week. Not saying they would. I actually have no idea if that's the case, but it's, you know what I mean? That's a good way to do it. And then there's like the bad way to do it where it's like literally copying everything. So that's all I wanted to add to that.
Yeah, I don't have too much to say on it. The only thing is that to take like a BNS example, I guess, is you're not going to have success copying something like that anyway. Most likely because you're going to be compared to what you're copying, and they're already bigger than you anyway. So people are just going to opt to do the thing that's bigger than yours that just started out most of the time. That's why 9 was saying you have to forge your own path, because that gives something unique that people will enter instead of the same thing every single time. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, especially right now in a time where every tournament does feel the same, because there's nothing really on the line. You need to separate it in some way than the others.
Yeah. You guys want to add anything to that, or?
DJ says more people should use set play.
Yeah,
make your tournaments longer.
Is SNS using something similar or no? I have no idea.
I don't even know.
I'm sure 9 knows.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Under the bus here.
No, but you did something with the maps. I know that, so you would probably know.
All right.
Wait, for did you say SNS or SQSS?
SNS.
Oh, to the best of my knowledge, SNS is not.
Okay.
Do not quote me on that, because I'm not privy to every discussion, just most of them.
Okay, so we're going to do 2 more questions. One of them here is from the Salamander King, and I just have to answer it because it's great. Actually, we'll have 3, because one got deleted because Doberman X answered a question that I do want to answer, but I believe he deleted his Twitter. And I want to bring it up because I feel like it's important to bring up. I know we're laughing, but I don't mean to. I'm genuinely serious about it, okay? So first, the Salamander King says, I've heard many people in the community refer to a certain player's playstyle as playing like a bitch. What does this mean? I tried looking it up online and I still have no idea. Help me. I think this is a joke question, but I couldn't help but ask it.
Okay, are we certain that both Salamander King and Doberman aren't parody accounts? No. What if this is the same person just throwing us all for a loop right here?
No.
I think he's watching too much putts.
Okay, so what's playing like a bitch night?
Playing rapid. Which is why I do it. I use the most broken weapons because I ain't got time to get good with bad weapons. I will play the easiest weapon that gets me the best result, and because of that, I play like that.
Okay, Salamander, playing like a bitch is like you being that guy that's like, what's the best way to explain it? You're that heavy splatling on the top plat that never ever moves and just keeps painting. You get pissed off because you can't go forward. That guy's playing like a bitch, you know? Same thing with Nine playing a rapid blaster, so you can't get in front of him, and he keeps killing you. He's playing like a bitch.
Get him out. Go the other way. Do whatever you want on the other side of the map. I'm here. Point and click, baby. Point and click.
Yeah, I would say it's like you're not. I would say it's players
passive.
who keep you in their distance and play passive, and they never encroach on you, but they're always, but they always get you because of that. Like they're the patient player, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Jumping back to base, the Tentamissile.
Yeah, that's playing like a bitch. Good job.
That's just playing
Stingray too. I was gonna say that is.
No. Stingray. Okay, you know what? Fine. That one was like, if you have like 9 Stingrays and you haven't done anything all game, that's a little different. But
No, it's when you literally only Stingray, and that's all you
Actually,
want to do.
the
That's
ultimate playing like a bitch is playing a long range weapon with Stingray and not actually killing with your main. You just paint and avoid everyone, and then go back to base and use Stingray. That's like the epitome.
That's actually what it is in Splatoon 2 to me.
Yeah, that's the close. I mean, in fighting games, traditionally, it's like play styles that tend to avoid the other person and rely on them messing up while you know, stand and crouch down or block low or something like that, or dash dance by the ledge to throw somebody off in Smash Bros. But yes, Splatoon 2's equivalent is definitely maining Stingray.
I mean, I want to specify or make it clear that playing like a bitch is probably a good idea a lot of the time.
It's probably a good idea. Like,
yeah, especially
we're not telling you not to do
like
it.
Play like a bitch.
And this is where the distinction is. We will tell you, like, if people tell you that, they are doing that because it is working. So you need to keep doing it, whatever it is. Like, if people are getting mad at you for playing a certain
It means you're
way,
doing something right, yeah.
it means you're doing something right. So carry on and keep doing that. I've stuck with Rapid since day one, baby. I'm never going away.
I'm pretty sure he heard that from Putz. I'm very sure about that. Very.
All right, so final question. I left this one for last because I think it's a good one. It's from David Andrus. David Andrus watches the cast like all the time. I see him all the time in our chat. He says, do you think the Supreme Court overturn on esports gambling will have a big effect on esports? Could we see organized gambling on Splatoon matches?
Who is going to be the first Splatoon bookie? Because
well, to be fair, me and already have. Sorry, not me and Nine. Me and Kendall already have a bet going on.
Yeah.
Before this regulation passed.
Let's get some parlaying going, man. I need to run some odds by people here. Like we gotta go all the way through here. We gotta say who's gonna have the highest KA. Like that's gotta be an additional part of the bet. We gotta start running. Dude, there is opportunity here.
I'm gonna get Blake to put this on the InkTV website.
Splatoon needs
Splat bets.
Splatoon needs a little bit of some eyes on it. What better than to have the first like fully functioning communal run bookie system?
Nine? We literally just outright banned Splathex, and you're like, I want to make this underground bookie market for gambling.
It's not underground anymore.
It's not underground. We're announcing it, baby. There's a server.
There's a server already?
It's not a secret scrim server. This is a nice Splat bet server where everyone can go and put their money in. and it'll be great. People love casinos, man. People love gacha games.
They do.
How many of you watching have spent money on a gacha game?
To be fair,
I know at least one of you.
When I was in Japan, the thing I spent the most money on was like gachapon. I need to get all these keychain chicken wings that have rubber chicken on the top. It's like buckets of fake KFC chicken. It's hard to explain unless I show you, man. It's amazing.
See, gambling is amazing. You just said that a form of gambling is amazing.
Oh my god, you just put words in my mouth here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, this guy in the chat, Samson, is 100% correct. Is that for lands now? And there will be no more hating on STDX. Everyone will love them because
there's that one guy. There's that one guy who's gonna go all in on the other team and lose it all, and I hate them forever. Okay. Anyways, what I did want to bring up with this was not that. What I wanted to bring up was that if people don't know, actually having a prize pool on online tournaments, like a buy-in, not a prize pool, a buy-in on online tournaments was considered a weird regulation in a lot of states. And there's different legalities depending on where you live in each country, right? And each time you do a buy-in, it depends on the state, depends on the country. So there's a lot of things. So it's kind of a gray area with buy-in in tournaments. But this legislation, as much as it's not really affected, it kind of makes that grayer area a little bit more white or like lighter in that situation, because now there's less of like this stigmatism that it's considered like a gambling type thing. So it's beneficial to our scene overall. It makes buy-ins less shady. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
So it's good. It's a good news, as much as we're kidding about actually having an online gambling scene. I'm
saying, man.
Everyone's
dude,
young.
The eyes this scene could get if they knew they could make a quick buck off of Splatoon. Like,
I mean, if you want to, you could do the personal bets, man. Me and Kendall have a personal bet running for the World Championship.
That you're gonna lose.
I'm not gonna disclose any details, but if something does happen, Kendall, I'm gonna photograph us together when you lose, and I'm gonna be smiling, and you're gonna be so upset.
I also have to play Hydra 2 streams, so for 2 streams in a row.
Wait, why?
If I lose this bet, like if I lose the bet, I also made it up because I'm very confident that I won't lose. So.
So what about if you win? What does your chat have to do?
Oh no, it's just one person, so literally I just get left alone. That's it. I'm not worried. I have no worries. I'm good.
Binary.
Okay, by the way, for everyone who doesn't know, me and Kendall have a bet. It's been going on for like 2 now. Is that during the World Championships, I think STDX is going to win the entire thing because of home field advantage, and Kendall thinks Japan's going to win. That's the bet.
Yo, I love STDX. All right, I do, but I'm sorry. Japan is coming to whip us.
And look
They've
at
been
this.
planning.
Look at this discussion that has started because gambling is legal. Now I want you to imagine.
I just want to say this was before any legislation was passed.
This is an entire server of discussion and people arguing. The discussion that would come to the game. I'm just saying. Also,
you know what?
Kendall, I
bring up this.
9. I'm starting to think that you're not beneficial to the community.
How am I not beneficial to the community?
No, you, Kendall. 9 has this ulterior motive. He's like this all-star caster. He's like the face of the community right now. That's secretly below. He's like, make a quick buck here and there.
Cover the spread, baby.
9 already has his website ready. I'm telling you, it's gonna appear before SNS.
It is.
Wait, won't we get in trouble actually? Because you can't make bets on like half these people are like little children. I'm pretty sure that goes against some law. I'm pretty sure.
Ah, crap.
Yeah. So 9 is gonna be the one who makes Splat Lotto a thing.
Splat Lotto. Splat Lotto. That could be fun. I just want to say I just got a new nickname too. Schiller in the chat said NinewholeGrains from betting on Splatoon.
That's a good one.
NinewholeGrains, that's another name now. But Splat Lotto is good.
Splat Lotto.
I like it.
I'm telling you, he's taking notes down.
Splat Lotto with 9 whole grand.
Oh my gosh, this is This is great. Yeah, somebody in the chat says mom's credit card says she's 37.
Anyways, I think that about wraps up the show.
Wait, you had one more question.
No, that was the question. Oh, yeah, sorry. The last question is from Doberman. I wish I had the full question. I wish I screenshotted it, guys. But the...
I definitely could pull it up. Give me a second.
Okay, Walkman, you say, because I'm just going to laugh when I say it.
Wait.
I do want to preface this. I want to preface this by saying that
we're all rich.
To be fair, to someone who is not part of the scene and is younger, I can completely get this side. But it's funny to us because it's just hilarious. I wish this would be the case. Actually, I might have a screenshot. I
got it right now.
Go for it.
I'm gonna read it. All right. Okay, so Agent Doberman says, "Do commentators make more than players? With a max prize pool of under $2,000 per Splatoon LAN, I very much assume you are. And if so, this community is totally backwards."
Okay. So I wanted to spell some things right away for you guys. You know
How is that not Hexen? How is that
It's not Hexen! Okay, by the way, I just want to disclose this, like, real talk here. None of us make money. I wish we could recoup our expenses for these things. I'm pretty sure Nine pays to go to every LAN event he does. He's losing money, okay? No one's gaining money here.
Given more money than I...
Yeah, I think all of us have given more money than we've made, guys. So please dispel that from you right away. We really do this because we like the game. We really do this because we like Splatoon. I know it's hard to believe. It's really hard to believe I love the game, but it's very true.
All these names that are still coming in the chat: 9 less grand, 9 whole Hexen, 9 whole grands. This is this is unreal. This is like this will be the chat where we're gonna be able to look back and say this is where it all fell apart.
Yeah, because of you. It's literally your fault.
This is where everything started to go downhill from here. But yes, no, I would love to be able to recoup the amount of money that I have spent on these events. But at the same time, I don't regret spending any of it, and I would do it all over again, and will continue to do it. So. And
I think we're all in agreement with that.
Yeah.
But no, pay me.
I mean, it'd be nice. It'd be nice. I'd love to get to a world where we can pay everyone. It'd be amazing.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I'm 100%, fine for now, with not, getting any monetary award back.
Kendall, he's saying now you better watch out.
No, they give me free water, so that's my payment. And that's not even free water.
They give it to you from the tap. They don't even give you that bottled stuff.
No, it's bottled.
It's Poland Spring. It's Poland Spring.
It's bottled. And it's cold, so they also give me free pizza when I want.
Yeah, so. That venue, like the guys at Aeon, as I said, they take care of their commentators. So
yeah, they do. So I mean, that's about as much as I get paid when I do that stuff. Is a couple water bottles, a couple slices of pizza. So I don't know how much the players are making, but I hope it's more than that.
All right, I think that about wraps up the show of chaos. So any shout outs you guys want to give?
Let's see. I know that we've done a similar shout out to this, but I want to again shout out both Spectre and Gingerbreadman17 for continuing to put out great content. Finally, now when my friends ask like what videos I can show them about the game that can help them get better at it, because a lot of my friends, like my IRL friends, have asked me how to get better at Splatoon, and it's so nice to be able to just refer to them to that, and it's like very easily digestible content. So shout outs to them and everyone else. I know other people are making content too. I don't mean to exclude you. Those are just the two that I'm most familiar with. So to all the content creators, keep it up.
Actually, you can see Gingerbread. We actually have him featured on our site every week for his weekly series. We'd love to get more people involved as well on the site, posting their content too. So, yep. look more towards that. But yeah, I agree with you. Spectre has been on the grind since Splatoon 1 for content.
Can someone link me her YouTube later? Because
please.
So
I obviously I follow her on Twitter and I don't see these videos.
one thing in particular is in Splatoon 1, she literally had a video where she'd go through every single map per video about where to place killer whales on maps.
I saw that video.
That looks like pretty interesting stuff.
And it was fascinating. And the way she edited the video
can.
was really good. So, yeah, I completely agree. Like, we haven't really shouted out, but she's been on it since Splatoon 1. So, yeah, good job, 9. How about you guys?
I would like to shout out the fact that I would like you all, for everybody to know, and on this day, I'm warning you. Milana is out to get you. Do not play DDR. If she tells you, oh, I'm not that good at singing about karaoke, it's in her bio. There is also a video, Future, if you would like to post a video about how she absolutely massacred me.
And Future had that video on lock as soon as you
it was ready. Do not play DDR with her unless you are some guy that can literally jump from side to side. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Also, follow me on my on Twitch, my_Negus.
Sorry, I'm watching this video. I am going to play it at the end of the show. Oh man!
Don't challenge her. All right. I was wearing boots. First off, I would still suck in regular shoes anyway. I'm not making any excuses about that.
Okay.
No. I would still suck. I'm bad. All right. So that's my plug.
All right. How about you, Walkman?
I mean, I don't have any. Did you get my Twitter right this time?
Walkman_04.
Let's go. I think I've been on the show 4 times. This is the first time.
Yeah, I did it.
You didn't even know.
Way to go, Spoon.
I even winged it off the cusp. I was like, damn, what is this? Walkman_04. That's probably
so
right.
You still didn't know. You just guessed.
Yeah, I did, but I got it right.
Wow.
All right. So yeah, that's pretty much
so sad.
All I have really. Obviously, go on inktv.media for articles, and then
Walkman just posted an article about Rank X and things that can be done to improve it. Go look at his article; it's really good.
Yeah, go look at that.
I did a bunch of thumbnails for it, so you better read it.
His thumbnails are actually good. All his images, I love them.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. Good.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Catch me at, I guess, Smash and Splash for commentary with my good friend over there, NinewholeGrains. So. That's going to be fun and lots of cool stuff at Ink TV happening. So
yeah. So
one other shout out I wanted to make real quick. I want to shout out Al Horford, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown, and all the members of the Boston Celtics.
Oh my God!
I actually love the Celtics. So.
I had to see what Kendall's reaction to that was, but really, it's going to be real good. Oh my God, he's going to hurt me.
Anyways,
hurt me.
Yes, we're in the lead, baby. 55-48. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Series, come on, everyone knows that.
Anyway, let me do my shout out so we get out of the show that you can bitch about basketball.
Alright.
Okay, everyone, yeah, there are a lot of things coming in with Ink TV pretty shortly. We've been working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Firstly, I want to say that we do have 2 more podcast video style shows coming out on a bi-weekly and weekly basis. One of them is going to be featuring me, 9, and Walkman, and that'll be coming in the near future. And I believe the name, I think we can announce it now, is Cross Examination. And what it is, we're going to be looking at players, pro players. They're going to come on the show and talk about how they played in a specific set that we feel is like a nice set to watch. And they're going to explain the reasoning behind decisions, the reasoning beside team matchups and compositions. We're going to have a commentator's look and the players look going at it. And we're going to have the gameplay going over it. But you can also watch it in audio format to get an idea of some weapons.
Guys, there's officially a Splat Bets Discord that I just got invited to.
I think I did too.
It's happened already.
All right. That and we also, this is actually really soon. I'd say in the next 2 to 3 weeks most. Beyond the Ink is coming back with Jordan hosting, and I believe our first guest, I think it's Day.
I believe so as well. So
it's going to be a one-on-one interview, and that'll be in podcast and video format as well. Also, we now have an RSS feed for InkRadio and all these new casts that are coming out. They're also all going to be on Google Play. I'm setting it up for iTunes right now and hopefully Spotify in the future, guys. So you guys asked for it and we finally have it because we're not lazy anymore.
You. Don't say us.
Me. Yeah, me. Completely me. It's a lot of work. And then on top of it, we have a couple of other big announcements that are going to be coming up soon, but I'm not ready to announce those. I'm just going to tease them and say it's really big, guys. It'll be really good for the scene. So stay tuned to that. So yeah, that's it. Have a good show, everyone. Thanks for watching. See you later.
Can you tell me where the hope has gone? Can you tell me where the love went wrong? Do you remember what it sounds like? We can turn the love back on. We can turn the love back on. I just hope we can